The Olympics, a celebration of human potential and the pursuit of excellence. A global stage where dreams are realized and legends are born. But beyond the medals and the glory, there's another story. A story of style, national pride, and craftsmanship. The uniforms worn by Team USA are more than just clothing. They symbolize our collective identity and ambition. And who better to design them than Ralph Lauren?
The son of two immigrants, he started with no money. The company he's built tells the story of America through clothing.
Ralph Lauren's dedication to blending style and athleticism made him the perfect choice to outfit Team USA, a prestigious role they've proudly held since the 2008 Beijing Olympics.
America is one of the few teams competing not funded by a government. It's a Herculean or Olympic task to actually create the Olympic uniforms. Our entire company comes together like an Olympic team to create, design, manufacture, produce, ship, everything that goes into creating Team USA looks. We are lucky because we're making so much of it here in America. Some of the wools are sourced in Oregon and Colorado. Things are put together in North Carolina, South Carolina, Connecticut. It's an amazing opportunity to learn about American manufacturing, American know-how, and try to spark new kinds of ideas right here in America.
One of the companies Ralph Lauren turns to is its long-term fabrication partner, Ferrara Manufacturing, a family-owned business in Long Island City. They've been crafting top-quality fashion items since 1987 and have collaborated with Ralph Lauren on Olympic endeavors since 2014.
For the 2024 Olympics, Ferrara has produced the opening ceremony blazer and woven shirt, as well as the flag bearer blazer. We've also made the closing ceremony moto jacket and the flag bearer moto jacket. If there's ever time to make products in the United States, it has to be for the Olympic uniforms. Even the wool from the blazer, that's from a sheep that was raised in Oregon. New York is a very exciting place to make things. It has the highest density of fashion designers in the United States. Ralph Lauren is actually from New York as well. He grew up in the Bronx and got started in New York. So we really feel connected to that story. This is one of the proudest programs that we work on, and it takes over a year to develop everything to make the best possible quality that we do for every garment we produce here.
Ferrara is responsible for creating pieces that will be worn by over 1,000 of America's athletes at the opening and closing ceremonies. These pieces will be on display for the world to see, and the athletes need to have the confidence that they're wearing the best America has to offer.
The opportunity was to outfit the teams on a global stage at the opening and closing ceremonies, which will be watched by more people than any sporting event in history. Our goal was to bring style and a sense of team spirit, clothes that felt comfortable, but also fashion forward.
So right now I'm wearing the opening ceremonies uniform. We have a nice blazer, button up, some jeans, and some suede bucks. I've always been a fan of white bucks, so to get suede bucks is a nice alternative to what I'm used to.
This is the closing ceremony outfit. I love how it's kind of a modern twist on a classic racer jacket.
Very lovely sports style coat that I'm wearing. Biker pants down low. It's easy to say after the games, I'm gonna kill every all-white party.
When we walk out on opening ceremonies in these looks, it really is what unites us as a team, and Team USA is one of the most dominant forces of the Olympic Games, so I'd say the apparel definitely takes part in that.
Even though the outfits for the opening and closing ceremonies will be Ralph Lauren's most visible contributions, their stamp on the Olympic apparel will be felt every day of the Games.
We're also outfitting the athletes in what's called village gear, which is what the athletes will wear as they're training, as they're walking around, as they're getting ready to compete.
Everyone knows the classic American flag Ralph Lauren sweater, and I love that they've done an Olympic twist on that in the village wear collection. There's a white sweater with the American flag and then with the Olympic rings on it, so it's a really cool Olympic twist on a classic Ralph Lauren staple.
And Ralph Lauren, quintessential American brand. When people think American style, it is kind of that mix between business and casual. Where else do people put blue denim with a tuxedo top, right? It's all about taking, in some ways, the best elements of American culture and fashion and bringing it into this one really special dish that satiates that fashion palette.
For Paris, we really looked at new kinds of fabrications, new kinds of silhouettes, things that felt fun and exciting. And I think what we're going to see are a lot of athletes wearing a team look, but also then doing their own twists in their own style and people across the world doing the same thing.
You can obviously see pinstripe, really, really nice linen material, breathable. Paris is going to be extremely humid. One thing I do love, and I think it's lost on today's generation, is the cuff. I think it's an atrocity. Probably one of the last great endemics in fashion, the death of the cuff. You put me in that NASA jacket, it's an aerodynamic design. Definitely I'm pairing it with some Ralph Lauren aviator sunglasses with that dark blue. It's gonna match that trim right here. Best dressed, hands down.
But before the athletes can start mixing and matching their looks in Paris, someone has to make each and every one of them over in the States. Ralph Lauren envisions the Olympic uniforms as a showcase of America's exceptional tailoring skills. Manufacturers like Ferrara are ready to rise to the occasion and demonstrate their craftsmanship.
We're in the warehouse right now. This is where we receive, count, and inspect all the raw materials. What I love about it is the combination of technology and craft, because that's really the future of our industry. So after we receive the raw materials, they're put into our automatic spreader, so then we can pull it down into the cutting machine. Different fabric actually requires different speed and waiting period for it to sit. A wool fabric requires a lot more breathing time and a slower spread than, say, a fusible fabric. In our shop, we have 2 cutting machines that are multi-ply, which means you can cut multiple layers of fabric. You spread fabric like layers of a croissant, and then it goes into the cutting machine. There's a really strong vacuum that sucks the fabric down to keep it in place so it doesn't slip around while we're cutting on the machine. Because if it slips and you have multiple ply, you're gonna get pattern pieces that are totally different. And then we have a single ply cutting machine that cuts stripes and matching patterns with the Vision cutting software. So this is what we use for the opening ceremony woven shirt. Right now we have a herringbone style, and what this is gonna do is it's gonna scan the pattern of the herringbone and pulls it up on the screen here. We actually cut each plaid and stripe one by one here on this special cutting machine so that we get an exact match. If these pieces are cut in the same layer, we want those 2 pieces to travel together in the production process. So in order to do that, we actually label it layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, and then all the layer 1s actually travel together. So she's labeling these 13, 14, 15, 16. She's gonna take these pieces and bundle them together and separate them out into bins. Then we go into pattern sewing. So all the little parts that can be automatically sewn, pocket flaps, cuffs, all sorts of things. There's certain things that you just can't replace people. You need to have an expert sewer to sew a collar on a blazer, for example. So we love marrying modern day technology with maintaining that craft. What Eric is doing here is designing one of the 3D parts. And then we're going to print that part and then automatically sew the piece on our pattern sewers here. We actually designed 17 of these pieces to manufacture the moto jacket. The US Olympic team top fits in here, and we're able to sew it directly on the garment. We would take these white 3D printed pieces here, put them on this machine, and run all of the different patches on this machine. So right now, she's sewing a part that has a 3D printed part, a pattern piece, and also a sew file that's associated with this particular item. After sewing, it goes into trim applications. So they'll apply all the buttons and the snaps to the garments. And then after trim application, it goes into pressing. What's interesting about blazers in particular is there's a lot of pressing that happens within the production process. A t-shirt, for example, doesn't need pressing throughout production. You just press it at the end. But blazers, because they have a lot of internal components and seams, actually get pressed throughout production, which makes them one of the most complicated garments to produce.
Once the garments have been made, there's one final step unique to the Olympic process. Before they leave with their bags of apparel, each athlete undergoes a final fitting, where skilled tailors ensure that every piece in their wardrobe fits flawlessly.
They call it team processing, but it's really just like this huge coming out moment. We all link up as a team. We go down to a processing facility and we start receiving all of the gear.
Putting on the Team USA uniform always makes it feel more real. It's at the games. It's going to be the first time that we wear any of this.
Over the last few days, we've dressed all the greatest athletes in the world, from LeBron James to Coco, and the list goes on.
The size range for this program is pretty wide because we have to fit so many different people. Size is a big thing, fit is a big thing.
We all have completely different dimensions based on our sports. For a swimmer, shoulders, or for a fencer, legs. For me, definitely my waist, because of the amount of leg work we do, can be a challenge with jeans. Having someone to really put care into making sure everyone looks their best.
I frequent the tailor, quite frankly. If it doesn't fit me, I don't wear it. So I just thought it was really special, not to be that guy, but to see my teammates kind of have that experience. What, is this a tape measure? A bit like a parent, on Christmas, watching the kids, right? That's really what the enjoyment is. So pretentious, but it's the truth.
When we all got to try everything on for the first time and see everything, we were all super excited, and it definitely makes it feel okay, it's happening. The Olympics are coming. Also just an honor and a privilege to get to wear the stars and stripes and to represent your country.
Honestly, it's the badge. This thing means everything to me. Being a part of Team USA, being a part of Ralph Lauren.
We take our job very seriously to make our athletes feel as great as they can so they can focus on winning their games.
You spend so much more than 4 years of your life. You're spending 4 years of not only your life, but your entire community's life. The weight of gold, as they describe it, it's more than just this 6'4", 180-pound frame. It's my mom, my dad, my dry cleaner, my swim coach, my girlfriend, my high school swim coach. All of these people and their experiences, you kind of have this opportunity in some ways to validate. So relief is without a doubt the overwhelming emotion.
To get to share my sport and the thing that I'm so passionate about and love so much with the whole world is really exciting.
When we walk out wearing this uniform, everybody's gonna have that same sensation. It's real. The lights can't be any brighter, the crowd can't be any louder, and we're all gonna be able to really perform and show everybody what we're about.
Look good, play good. Team USA has the best athletes in the world, so Ralph Lauren just sits on our bodies perfectly.
It's the proudest feeling you can have when you watch Team USA walk in front of the entire world and they're wearing Ralph Lauren.
Why do it again? That's a great question. I want to come back. I enjoy the pride and the honor that comes with not only representing this our entire country, but the people that make up this country. That's what all of us have in common. We really, really just love representing something better than ourselves through our own hard work and efforts.